Let's try something different today. So, this is my first time working with modeling paste in this capacity, and you can see that it is creamy and dreamy. So, today I am taking you along a journey, a beginner for the beginner, right? How many times have you seen a video where people do a tutorial? This is what I would do if I was a beginner. Well, what if we do it together? So the backstory is I purchased a course from Josie Lewis a couple of years ago showing how to do the petals that you're going to see today. And what I love about being an artist is the transfer of learning. And specifically with fluid art is like the constructionism effect where experiencing the medium and playing with it is the best teacher. I've always said that experience is the best teacher. And there are a lot of similarities to fluid art with this particular technique, in my humble opinion. And so in the tutorial, she shows us how to make these rounded petals. And so this is exactly what I'm doing here on my palette, which is like really cool paper that doesn't absorb liquid, so you can put paint on it, you can put modeling paste on it, and it actually peels off and you can reuse it. Anywho, you can see that I am learning how to make those petals just with practice before I actually go into my canvas. So that is a win in itself. You can practice without messing up your canvas per se. And this modeling paste comes right out of the tube ready to be played with. You can mix acrylic color with it, but there isn't any exact recipe per se. You know, at this point in my texture art modeling paste adventure, there is no specific recipe that you have to follow. Now, that could change as I grow and learn more, but I feel like there is a little bit of a lesser learning curve in the sense, just like fluid art, that you could probably out the gate make something that you like. And then over time, as you learn the technique, you learn different nuances, you start to critique your work more and see things that you didn't see when you first got started. And so here I am just layering my first couple of petals, and I am going to attempt like a sunset with using different colors. And let me apologize for a little bit. Um, I didn't show you guys how I mix the colors, but I will later in the video. One thing that you will see in just a few minutes is you can really have a lot of fun exploring mixing color. How much of one color does it take to tint something else? And that really is apparent here. So you can see I'm mixing a little bit here and there, and I realize that, oh, this yellow might be a little too bright. And then I just go in and take some of the white. And I really, really love this, especially for my fluid artists, because we play with a lot of color. And this just really gives you opportunity to play with different colors, make all the different colors that you want, and bookmark that in your mind. And then you could make a fluid version as well. So you can see I wanted it to be truly like an ombre effect, so I added some more white there, and I'm just playing around. It does take quite a bit of time to mix everything, as you see here, and then I'm just going to lay out a new petal. Okay, so just some things that I've learned so far. I knew by the tutorial that you can lay your petals in different directions or you can keep them all going the same way. I wanted to experiment and have my petals going in different directions. I thought that would be cool and add some interest to the piece as the colors also change, throughout. And so as you can see, I'm adding more yellow. And what I'm learning is you can literally keep pulling textured paint from the same pile and just keep tinting it and tinting it. And that is one really good lesson. I want to pause here because you can see I added some paint from the tube directly to my um, paste here, and I got that really deep, rich marigold color. And so you can see the ratios don't have to be perfect as far as the quantity of paint to the medium. Of course, the more fluid paint you use, you run the risk of losing the capability to make those, um, to make the petals or to make any type of three-dimensional product. I'm not, that's not the right word, but you get what I'm saying, right? And so I realized it was time to make a color change. And so you'll see some red texture paint pop up soon. And then I start to mix that in to get my new color. Boom, there it is. And I added just a little bit of what I would call maybe a muted vermilion color to the gold. And you can see there's a change. And so I wanted to get back to this conversation about the color yellow. And a lot of folks are afraid to use yellow. But when you're tinting your paints, a lot of times we go for white or black, and you lose a lot of the warmth when you use black and white, in my opinion. With white, things kind of become more muted and more pastel like. And that's okay if that's what you're going for. But sometimes you're wanting to just slightly change a color and going to the opposite ends of the color spectrum, just a little dab and will change the whole thing. But yellow is a great way to just tweak and make minor changes to your colors. It's not as potent per se. So, where I messed up, let me tell you a big tip. The more texture or the more paste that you have on your palette to work with, the harder it is. So less is more. And I learned that. You can see my paper is now full, and my painting started to slow down. It was taking me a lot longer to make it because I had so much paint on my palette. It was harder to mix the colors because I was mixing more of it, taking longer to mix it. So I'm telling you, minimal is best. Like, use as little paste as possible on your palette. Now, I don't skimp on the substrate here, the canvas. I have that thing loaded up, but when you're mixing, less to me is better. And I wanted to incorporate some blue because I'm thinking about making this a triptych. And so to get to a blue hue, I had to make some drastic changes pretty quickly. As you can see, I was getting close to the end of my canvas. So we will see how that looks in just a moment. Okay, okay. What do y'all think so far? Also, are you liking this type of experiment, like kind of going along a journey with me? Would you like to see more content outside of fluid art? I'm gonna make it, but I don't know how much you guys want to see it. So let me know in the comments, so I can just gauge. Ultimately, my goal is to create some type of hybrid fluid art, textured art technique where I kind of combine both and, just see where it lands. And friends, we're putting on the last petal. Here we go. Ah, that was so satisfying. You're gonna see here I do a little bit of touch up, if you will, and we'll get you out in just a moment. I'm gonna show you a couple of my products and what I was using. It wasn't a whole lot. I'll show you the modeling paste and all that fun stuff as well. All right, so here is the final result, and I'm gonna give you a little close up. Y'all, this looks like cake frosting. Now, so you can see how long this piece actually took me. Check out the white. It is dry to the touch. It does take about 2 to 3 days to cure. And I've been advised to let it cure naturally. Don't try to speed up the process, so that you get that nice finish. So I'm really excited and I'm so thrilled you came on this journey with me. See you in the next video. Peace.